my name is Dr. Ella Brandes-O'Neill, and today I would like to show you how to clean the flute. Whether you are a student or a parent, this video is for you. And the reason why we clean the flute is to absorb all the moisture that settles during the time we practice. And we want to make sure we clean the flute inside and make the tube inside dry as much as possible, so the moisture doesn't go into the keys of the flute and the pads. So how often do we clean the flute? That's one of the questions I often get from students and parents. We clean the flute every time after each practice session, so we can maintain the flute in great condition. So what will you need for cleaning the flute? So you will need a cleaning rod. Cleaning rods come in wood, they can come in plastic or metal. Whatever cleaning rod you have, it will be very helpful. Then you will need a cotton cloth to clean the flute inside, like a flute swab. And of course, I will write below the video where you can purchase cotton cloths like this to clean the flute. If you don't want to purchase anything online, no problem. You can actually find an old t-shirt, very thin cotton t-shirt, and just cut out the piece of the fabric and use it to clean your flute. What else? You will need something to clean the flute outside. So I use like a microfiber, very smooth and microfiber cloth, and I will always clean the flute outside after I practice the flute. We do that because during the practice there is a lot of oils and fingerprints that collect on the flute and on the keys, and we want to clean that off after each practice session. Okay, so I will guide you through everything. So first I start with cleaning the head joint, and I take the rod and the cloth and I put the corner of the cloth through the rod. It's like a needle and a thread, and I just put a little bit. I just take the cloth and I push through just a little bit, and then the rest of it I like to wrap around the rod. The cloth I like to wrap around. So the rod is nicely covered with the cloth, and then because this is so nice and fluffy, I like to make it thin, and so I twist the cloth and make it very very tight and close to the rod. Okay, so I take my head joint, and if you have a flute stand, I recommend to place the flute on the flute stand so the rest of the flute doesn't fall down on the floor. I place the rod with the cloth inside of the head joint. Now, I recommend doing that very slowly because at some point when you keep going forward with the cloth and with the rod, your cloth will touch a point where it will not go any farther. So you will touch a cork. There is a little cork, and that is responsible for our instrument tuning, and make sure that this doesn't, you don't hit that. So that's why I'm going slowly, and you will have to touch it because you want to clean that area as well. So I recommend holding the thumb on the top of the crown like this, and then gently just twist it, and that's it. Okay, so that's it for inside. You check if all the moisture is absorbed. Yes, it is, beautifully. So then that's not the end. There's two more places I like to clean the head joint. The tenon, the moisture settles on the tenon as well. So this is called the tenon on the tuning slide. So I like to take the cloth and just wrap the cloth around and clean that area as well. This area goes into the flute. So if you don't clean this area, after a while, weeks or maybe months, you will start to have difficulty placing the head joint into the flute. So that's why it's very important to clean that area. Okay, now I always clean the inside of the lip plate hole. So this is a lip plate, and the hole is called lip plate hole or embouchure hole. I like to call lip plate hole because it belongs to the lip plate. So I take the cloth and I wrap my pinky and I place it inside the flute, and I make sure the walls of the lip plate hole are clean inside. Okay, all right, and that's it. That's it for the cleaning the head joint. Now, so this is one way of cleaning the head joint, and this is how I like to clean. It's fast and easy. I will show you another way to clean the head joint. Every flutist will have their own way of cleaning the flute, and there is no right way or wrong way. As long as you clean the flute inside, that's the most important way. I just want to give you all the possible ways. The other way is to make a little bubble or like a little ball with your cloth, like this. And then you place it inside. And then you stick the rod inside of it, right inside of that cloth, and you push it through. And again, you push it, but you also twist it. And again, you're going to hit that cork or like touch that cork. So make sure you don't hit it strongly, but you gently press against, or don't even press it. Just when you touch it, just nicely twist the rod inside. And again, keep the cork. I like to keep the cork on I like to keep the thumb on the crown of the head joint like this to make sure that the cork stays inside solidly and doesn't move. Okay? So the reason why I like to clean the flute this way is because the cloth, that little bubble, is very uneven, and when the cloth is uneven, it touches the inside of the walls of the lip plate hole. So you have like two things in one, basically. So it beautifully cleans the lip plate hole as well. Does this make sense? Okay. And then you take the cloth and you clean your tenon right here. All right. So that's it. That's it for cleaning the head joint inside. All right. And then I place the head joint into my flute case, and I move on to my body part of the flute. So the same with the body part. I just take the rod and the cleaning cloth. I wrap the rest of the cleaning cloth around the rod, and then I place it into the body part, and I swab inside and I twist it. I just don't push it through, I twist it to make sure the wall inside gets dry and cleaned well. And then I do the same from the other side. And that's all. You will probably need one or twice to swab the flute inside, but you have to check it, okay? So then I check it, beautiful, it's all dry, and then I take the cloth and I wrap the tenon as well. I clean the tenon of the flute. So this is the other tenon that actually this part goes into the foot joint of the flute. So again, there is a lot of moisture that will settle on that tenon. So you want to clean it to make sure when you put the flute together next time, it goes smoothly. Now, I also clean, in addition to the tenon, I also clean the inside of the barrel. This is barrel of the flute. And you know, you can just clean it with your cloth. That's totally fine. But all to make sure that there is all the moisture is taken off that barrel inside, I put the finger with my cloth and I rub it, and I press and I rub it, and I twist my flute around my finger and I make sure it's nice and clean. So that also will help you easily to put the parts together when you play next time. Okay, so that's it for cleaning the body part inside of the body part. And then I place the body part into my flute case, nice and clean. And the last part is the foot joint of the flute, and the same as the body part, you just take it and you put the cleaning cloth and the rod through the foot joint, and from the other side. All right, and now you have that little barrel here as well. So I like to clean that inside of that barrel. Okay, there is a lot of moisture that settles there, so I take my cloth and I take the finger and I just rub it inside once or twice, and that's it. So that's it for cleaning the flute inside, and I place it to my case. So then what I do, I take my cleaning cloth for outside. So this cloth is a little bit thicker. It's microfiber, very thin microfiber cloth, smooth and soft. And I take my head joint and I make sure I clean my lip plate. There's a lot of spit that you will have on that front wall right here, so you want to make sure you clean all of this, and also on your lip plate right here where your chin rests. So you want to make sure you clean that part, and then your whole entire head joint, just to make sure you take all the fingerprints and oils from that, from the silver, and I place it to my case. And the same with the body part. You clean I start with the bottom part of the flute, and then I go to my keys, my B key and B flat key, where I always press it, and then my keys, and I place it into the flute case, and the same with my foot joint. I take the bottom of the flute and I clean it first, and then my keys, especially the E flat key and C and C sharp, and then I place it to my case, flute case. Then I just check it out, and if I see any fingerprints, I am just like polishing the flute again, all the keys, making sure all of this is nice and smooth and clean. So here it is, beautiful, voila, the flute is nice and clean, voila, and is ready to be practiced again. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I will list all the cleaning supplies for cleaning the flute below the video, and have fun to clean your flute.